This is Comic Picks by the Click.
Hey, and I'm your host, Jason Glick.
Good afternoon and good evening, Jason Glick. How's it going?
Oh, it's going great, John. How about you?
Is it officially summer yet? Okay, it's not yet.
Feels like it from where I'm sitting, but yeah. But I mean, it's certainly summer at the movies. I mean, it's like things have really been kicking over the last couple of weeks, and it's like I can say that I know we both loved X-Men First Class.
Absolutely, it was insanely good.
Yeah, it's like if I can see them, like, I certainly hope they build another like X trilogy just based off the starting point right here. Then they certainly got the basis for them, and they got Bryan Singer back on board, and Matthew Vaughn has already set his plans for the next movie. It's like you have to start off with Magneto being in charge of the magic bullet to kill JFK.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes, and I'd certainly love to see them do that movie. Whether or not they actually do that, though, it's like, well, cross your fingers. But all I can say, though, is that I certainly hope our next big superhero movie is at least half as good, or at least closer to three-quarters. And that's Green Lantern. Now, Green Lantern is representative of a lot of things. First and foremost, it's basically Warner Brothers' first major effort to try and make a film franchise out of DC superheroes other than Batman and Superman. Sorry. They've basically Warner Studio has basically said that that they want to use DC stable of superheroes to replace the Harry Potter franchise, and with Green Lantern being the first crack at the bat, they're going to see whether or not that's possible. I mean, personally, I'm looking forward to it. I like it seems like it's positioned really well to be DC, like their answer to the surprise success of Iron Man. Basically a perceived B-list character who strikes a chord with the movie-going public and winds up spawning his own film franchise. Now, the thing is, I'll say perceived B-lister character, because the truth of the matter is that Green Lantern has been an A-list property in DC Comics for quite some time. Basically, ever since Geoff Johns took over the series with first when he first brought Hal Jordan back from the dead in Rebirth, all the way up through his current arc, War of the Green Lanterns. It's been a huge blockbuster series for DC, and it's basically positioned Hal Jordan as A-lister as an A-lister for this time anyway. I mean, it's like DC had a posters talking about a universe of opportunities at this upcoming licensing expo, where they're showing off all their potential licensing properties, and the first three heroes you see at the front, see Batman, Superman, and Green Lantern. So that's a sign of how important how prominent Green Lantern has become in recent years. And I've talked about Geoff Johns' first two volumes in his run on Green Lantern. Rebirth is quite frankly fantastic in the way that it's that Johns basically undoes. Well, not really undoes, but basically justifies all of the stuff that's been done to Hal Jordan since his death. Well, because for those of you who don't know, Hal Jordan was the one true Green Lantern for many, many years. Then in the mid-90s, they realized, no one likes Hal Jordan. He's kind of dull. You know what? Let's go ahead and kill him and make someone else Green Lantern. Well, no, not to kill him. Turn him into a villain and then make someone else Green Lantern. They did that. Fans howled in anguish, and as their beloved hero was turned to the villain Parallax, and a ring was given to the newbie Kyle Rayner, who's the last Green Lantern of the universe. This lasted for several years until Jordan gave his life to reignite the sun in the Final Night crossover. Then he became the new host for the Spectre, and that status quo was tried for years, and then until Geoff Johns got his hands on things and basically wound up taking all the stuff that's been done to Jordan and basically not only just telling a story that actually makes it work, makes it actually seem like some kind of grand publishing plan when it was just, it was like whatever the editorial team had in mind for the character at the time. But in addition to that, he also set up a lot of the stuff for his later run, for his run on the series. I mean, like you can see lots of bits from Blackest Night have their beginning in Rebirth. And like I said, even though like some parts of these are expository horrific, it's still a great read, and definitely one of the volumes I'd recommend to anyone want to get in on the ground floor right here. I mean, it's a real fun volume, and I like. As I said, it's just impressive to see how Johns takes everything that's been done to Hal Jordan over the years and managed to fashion a cohesive, coherent story out of it. And that momentum carries over to the regular series with No Fear, which is a collection of this just has Hal Jordan getting back to basics, joining up with the U.S. Air Force again, becoming a test pilot, and then coming on to subsequent volumes with Revenge of the Green Lanterns and Wanted Hal Jordan. These are all good fun stories, and it also shows. And while Johns continues to set up the ideas that were from the basis of Blackest Night, and more recently, more immediately, the Sinestro Corps War, because we haven't gotten to that point yet. He still tells lots of fun epic superhero stories, especially with Revenge of the Green Lanterns, which has Hal Jordan teaming up with his good friend Ollie Queen, Green Arrow, and then being infected by the Black Mercy, a parasitic plant that kills you while granting your heart's fondest desire. I like the way that they overcome this particular threat, because it's basically through Green Arrow's realization that this isn't the perfect life that I wanted, but how he does that is quite clever. Then you've also got his teaming up with Batman, and it's like Bat's getting his revenge on Jordan for punching him in Rebirth, and it's also fun seeing like how Batman try to work the ring himself. It's a cool moment, but the highlight of this volume is Revenge of the Green Lanterns, where we find out that some of the lanterns that Jordan killed in space weren't actually dead. They've actually been kidnapped and are being held prisoner by Cyborg Superman and the Manhunters. Then you get Jordan and Guy Gardner going to their planet, and then just all hell breaks loose as they try to free all these people who were once thought dead. Great stuff. Continues on to Wanted Hal Jordan, where Hal Jordan has to face off against Amon Sur, the son of the Green Lantern who died in order for him to get his ring, and also the man who put a price on his head, causing a bunch of intergalactic bounty hunters to show up on Earth and try and take his ass out. It's good. It's a cool story. And then it also leads into Secret of the Star Sapphires, which really is kind of more directly setting up stuff that you'll see later on in Blackest Night, because we get to see the origin of the Zamorans, who basically have the power of the violet light of love. And this has Jordan's old girlfriend Carol Ferris being affected by it, and then going find over to get him to meet up with his current squeeze, his co-pilot, his co-pilot fling, Cowgirl. It's fun, and while the gender politics and representation of love in this series is kind of okay. It's just don't take any of this seriously, and just about how everyone reacts to being in love with Jordan. It's really kind of ridiculous, but it does have a great moment at the end where Jordan shows himself to be really clever in how he diverts the Sapphire's attention in order to get them off planet. That's fun, but it also leads into the Sinestro Corps War, which I've said, fantastic crossover. I read it without having those two volumes without having read any of this stuff before, and so I can just go and recommend you pick that up regardless. Now before we start this podcast, John, I was telling you about how the Green Lantern movie actually had a basis for it. Yeah, because basically shortly after the Sinestro Corps War, Geoff Johns took 7 issues with his partner artistic partner Ivan Rice, who basically has been drawing the series pretty regularly since Revenge of the Green Lanterns, well, up until the point where Doug Mahnke took over for the Blackest Night issues. Then he took 7 issues after Sinestro Corps War to do Secret Origin, which, as its name implies, is just a retelling and basically the new standard for the origin for Hal Jordan. Now, and basically this goes all the way back to the time when Jordan was a kid, and he used to and he find out when he sneaks out to his when he sees his dad taking his final test flight for Ferris Air, and witnessing his dad die in front of his eyes, and just realizing that it's like after you've seen your dad die in front of you, what's left to be afraid of? And that's how he becomes kind of the man, like man with no fear. Kind of person who could be a Green Lantern, someone who can overcome great fear. And it's a good solid story. I mean, for the first issue or so, it's basically, I guess, just straight up human character, no superheroes at all, just showing about all the tragedy that shaped Hal Jordan to the man he would become. And then eventually going on to tell you about Abin Sur, the Green Lantern who died in order to give Jordan his ring, and then Jordan's career as a test pilot, and also his recruitment by the Green Lantern Corps after getting Abin Sur's ring. It's still a pretty well done story. Everything's thought out pretty well, and and I like the fact that kind of like with X-Men First Class, I liked how Xavier and Magneto were they show how they could be friends. They were good friends at first, but then eventually their differences just proved too much to really overcome. And that's the same with Hal Jordan and Sinestro, who at the time we encounter him is the greatest of the Green Lanterns, home to the overseer of the most orderly sector in the universe. But also a good friend of Abin Sur, and so he's drawn to Jordan in order to find out just why his friend died, and they wind up teaming up on Earth to take on the prisoner that Abin Sur was transporting, Atrocitus. Now, if this volume has any real weaknesses to it, it's the fact that it's at the time they had to take 7 issues off from the current storyline to tell Jordan's origin story. So I get the feeling that Johns felt obligated in some way to throw readers a bone, at least throw in some stuff that was going to tie back into to Blackest Night, because that's what the series is building to after the end of the Sinestro Corps War. That's why we get that's why we found out that Atrocitus, one of the chief of the Red Lanterns, was one of the people that was the prisoner that Abin Sur was transporting when he was when his alien craft went down over Earth, and why William Hand, later known as Black Hand, or the Avatar of the Black Lanterns, he's lurking around the edges of this story. And we find out how he gets his little magical power collecting device. In this story as well. It's really kind of inconsequential stuff, and it's not really necessary for the story. But if you were reading the series at the time and you're kind of wondering, and you're looking for stuff that's gonna you're sold on this series about just find out why. How is this going to tie into Blackest Night? Then you got your bone that Johns throws you right there. But still, it's still a well done story, and even if you aren't interested in following this stuff past Blackest Night, I still like how the series ends with Jordan and Sinestro going facing down the Guardians and just saying this is It's we understand what you we understand what you want. We've got our own plan. It's a great great renegade moment. It's like it's good does a good job of establishing Jordan's character, someone who will stand up to authority, and not back down, even it's like even in the face of odds much greater than he is. So, I mean, to be honest, if Johns wanted to do like a Green Lantern Year 2, where we find out what happened to what happened to just what happens with Sinestro, and how we find out that he goes bad. It's like I definitely like to see that. In fact, I can tell you we probably will be seeing it if the movie really takes off, because I've heard that the creators have been using that the filmmakers have been using Secret Origin as kind of like a bible for the movies. So you're going to see a lot of stuff in there. I mean, like you've seen the trailer. If you've seen the trailer, you can see Sinestro's in there. Green Lantern Drill Sergeant Kilowog is in there. Tomar Ray is in there, and also Hector Hammond, the creepy guy with the large skull, is also in there as well. I have heard that Parallax is in there as well, though I don't know exactly what form he's going to take. I'm trying to keep myself in the dark, so I don't want to know too much about this going in, but still, it's like I want to be optimistic. I mean, the trailers, they've been nice. I mean, they're very very flashy, right, John?
Absolutely, sir.
Yeah,
they're just really just heavy CG in the trailer, and I'm curious as to the movie looks all just like the trailer, or there are other cut scenes of like real life Earth.
Yeah, it's like it could be that they're throwing us all the really flashy stuff of life on the Green Lantern homeworld of Oa.
Right.
Just just to draw everyone in, and it's like I like Ryan Reynolds, and I went in like he's a really good choice to play someone as cocky and arrogant as Hal Jordan, even though I think that his brand of humor and acting veers more towards irreverence than willfulness. I mean, like I've also heard some people, but also the interesting thing is with Jordan though is that he's kind of like a really square jawed man's man hero in his origin, and like that's kind of a hard character to get the audience to empathize with. So I've heard that they're kind of like making him more of the young hero, kind of like Kyle Rayner was in the series, but it's like I'm looking forward to seeing how it's pulled off. And I'll also say that it's like just to conclude here, it's like I think that John's most interesting trick with his work on Green Lantern so far is that he's actually made Hal Jordan more of a Marvel style hero than most DC characters. Because before he became a villain, like I said, Hal Jordan was like a good square jawed. It's like square-jawed hero where everything he does was always right. He was like untouchable, completely infallible and not flawed at all. But now, after the events of Rebirth, now that he's back as a Green Lantern, he's not that character anymore. In fact, it's one of the big threads throughout the series is that a lot of the Green Lantern Corps know of Hal Jordan because of what he did as Parallax, how he went and destroyed the Corps. But now he's back, and like everyone's like, while they're not like actively out to get him, they certainly don't trust him and they don't like him. So they've kind of made they've given him this huge flaw, in that he's the fallen hero, the figure who's trying to redeem himself. Kind of like with Marvel characters, how they always have that one flaw right there. Mm-hmm. It's like that makes him interesting. Like Spider-Man is a hard luck hero. The X-Men are trying to protect a world that hates and fears them. It's like Iron Man has problems with his heart. Like Thor is a god. It's God living in man's world. That kind of thing. And that's what Hal Jordan is, like kind of like the hero who fell and is now trying to redeem himself. It's like I think that definitely makes for a more interesting character than he's ever been presented as before. And so that's why I would continue to read the series, and that's why I'm looking forward to the movie. So all I can say is come this Friday, cross your fingers and it's like and certainly hope, and we'll hope for the best.
Okay. And will that wrap things up?
That is going to wrap things up. I've talked too much
All
already.
right. No problem. We will see you next time. And is there any inkling or preview of what you're going to be recording next time?
Well, it's like you told me that Myron wants to talk about the Hulk. So I mean, if he can get me those comics, we can talk about that. But I'm kind of, but I don't know. So I have a feeling it might be maybe we'll lean towards something more manga-centric next time, but, it's like we got 2 weeks. We'll see what pops up in those time.
Alrighty. And we'll see you next time. Talk to you later.
Right.
Bye.
Laters.